Feel bad. Joining us right now, hopefully he enjoyed his week off.
Yes.
I always worry about him. Hopefully he did not suffer any injuries whatsoever. We're getting ready for the holidays, and I need Greg Papa at full strength for all the eating that's on the way. He is the voice of the 49ers on your home of the 49ers, Sactown Sports. He joins us each and every Friday. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, David. And if you were with us last Friday, I shared with Jason what I was hoping to do during my bye week, and that was attend Game 6 of the World Series. But the New York Yankees defensively in the top of the fifth inning in Game 5 got me a refund from the Dodgers for Game 6, but there was no game. So,
yeah, well,
I went to Arizona. We were there for spring training to start the year. At breakfast at the Biltmore one day, and we got to come back here and just lounge around the pool. And so it was a good time. The Bay Area weather turned a little bit, and they have a great setup by the pool to watch football. They have like 6 different screens all on top of each other. So just a lot of rest and relaxation and watching football on Sunday. And you know what? The NFC is good. The Detroit Lions are really good. Washington's really good. And then the NFC West, Arizona, what they did to Chicago, and I was in Arizona thinking of going to the game, but didn't. And a lot of Bears fans rolled in for the weekend. And, well, they got smacked. Arizona ran all over them. But James Conner and Kyler's playing great. Trey McBride's a tight end. So, and then the Rams-Seattle game was crazy. Went to overtime, and Gino threw the pick 6 to Cam Kitchens. And so the point is that the Niners are coming off their bye. They're 4-4. They should be 6-2. They're not. But they're going to have to ratchet it up. But I know in years past, they just took over the NFC at some point. This conference is better. You got a lot of good teams that are playing more consistently, excellent football. The Niners have got to start being more precise. They've got to execute better. If they play their game and getting Christian back on Sunday, if he does play, it seems as though he will, unless something unforeseen happens. That'll help a lot, getting Yatur Gross-Matos back and all the guys that are coming back. Juwan Jennings, Jake Moody. But this conference is loaded right now. Kansas City rules the AFC, and Baltimore was last night. I didn't even mention Minnesota, what they did on Sunday night. Detroit going to Green Bay, dealing with the weather and beating them, and Green Bay's still good. So for a long time, we thought if the Niners just play like the Niners, they're going to run this conference. Well, they're going to have to play like the Niners and give it close to an A+, a solid A performance to be able to take down these other teams.
Greg, everybody's been waiting for McCaffrey. I know he's cleared. He's practicing. If, in fact, he does go and everything's kind of pointing towards that, how do you think they'll utilize him the most? Red zone, as a receiver, kind of mix a little bit of everything that he's capable of? How do you envision Kyle using him?
That's I don't think they know yet. I think they're figuring that out today. He's got one more practice to get through today, and then walk through tomorrow. He has to handle the flight to Tampa. As long as there's no soreness in either Achilles developing. The thing with McCaffrey, JC, that's why he had so many touches last year, and he's on the field for so many snaps. And come playoff time, he's like Buster Posey. Buster's catching every inning. McCaffrey's not coming off the field. These are two important games. So when do you take them off? You want him on first down, second down, third down, and if you have to go to fourth down, you want him on fourth down. The guy. So I remember when they first got him in the trade a couple of years ago, and he played that game against Kansas City. I think he had 23 snaps in the game. But one thing they did not have him do was third down, which seems Christian McCaffrey not on third down. That's where he's at his best. You want him, to detaching and going in the slot and getting matched up, but he's such a great man beater. That was because he didn't really know the blitz terminology yet for blitz pickup. He's a smart guy, but he just got there on essentially Friday and had to go play Sunday in 48 hours. So that's how they limited him at that time. I don't think it'll be that way. I think it may be just series where Christian starts the game and gets a series, depending on how long the series is. And by the way, it's going to be hot as hell in West Florida, on the Florida coast. It's going to be into the 80s. The Niners are wearing red jerseys again. They're going to be in all white, I think. That's what they do. They know the weather there. It's high humidity. So we had this, obviously, against Arizona at home, but Florida can sap you. It's a different kind of heat. So, where's his cardio at? If you go off on a 12-play drive to open the game or at any point in the game, can he last all a dozen plays? I don't know. So he'd come off. And then I think you give him series off maybe, where he takes 2, J.P. Mason takes 1, Christian takes 2, Isaac Arendo takes 1, or however they divvy it up. But I don't think it's a situation where he's just going to be in for red zone or just in for third down or just in these situations. Because right now, he's not coming back from an injury. He did not tear his Achilles tendon like Dre Greenlaw did. He had tendinitis. He had inflammation, bilateral in each tendon. He didn't get injured. He just had to have that calm down. And now he's fine in theory, and hopefully he will be. So I think they're figuring it out exactly, how much they want to use them and what situations they want to use them.
Greg Papa joining us. So I'm trying to think of a time when the 49ers went into a bye week a little off their game, whether losing games or just win, lose, whatever. They just weren't right. And then they come off the bye week and go to Florida and maybe face a team, I don't know, maybe 6-2 at the time, whatever, and blow them out. Wait, it happened last year, Jacksonville, 31-3. So am I smoking a little something extra, Greg, by taking some sort of solace and feeling like, hey, this is what's happened in the past? Of course, this is going to be the launching pad with a banged-up Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans out, Chris Godwin out. This is a perfect start for the 49ers to leap their way into, I'm not asking for much, maybe 1-2 losses the rest of the season and cruise back into the Super Bowl.
I mean, that's the plan, and I feel you. I remember that situation, 5-0 to start, lost 3 in a row going into the bye. They were tired. They made a trade to get Chase Young. They came out and then moved Steve Wilkes down from upstairs to the field and realigned their nickel package, and they got on a heater. And then they went into Philadelphia and smacked them. The only loss really was to Baltimore on Christmas night. The Rams came at the end. They didn't play their guys. The Rams wanted the game more. So I hear you. That's the plan, but you got to go do it. And the reality is, Jacksonville is a very young football team, even at 6-2, and they were playing great going into it. And the quarterback has taken everybody to Waffle House after a playoff win, but he did not play well in that game. And they're young, and they wound up crashing and burning. Their whole season fell completely apart, and they really haven't recovered since. They're a young team. Tampa Bay is an older team. This team, I know Tom Brady's going to be in the Fox booth and not on this, under center, but they won a Super Bowl in their stadium. The stadium we're walking into on Sunday, they won a Super Bowl in that stadium, Super Bowl 55. We're playing 59 this year. It's not that long ago. They won their division 3 straight years. They've been in the playoffs 4 straight. They are hurt, not having Godwin and not having Evans, obviously the wide receivers. And they're coming in off a short week. I think the main thing is when the 49ers went to Jacksonville last year, it was off their bye week. Jacksonville was also coming off their bye week. Niners couldn't get a break. Niners played 4 teams last year off their bye. I thought, what is that? I've never heard of that ever. Well, the Niners are doing it again this year. They're playing 4 teams off byes this year. Only 1 team is playing as many as 3. And it's the Colts. Everybody else is 2, 1, or a lot of the teams, most of the league is 0. So for once, the Niners get a break where they're off a bye, and the team that they're playing had to play Kansas City at Arrowhead on Monday night. So it's a short week. They had to play 83 snaps on defense, so they're going to be, you would think, tired. But then the weather comes into it. So I hear what you're saying. I think that's what everybody hopes, to get all these guys back and start playing like the Niners, Dave. But as I said earlier, the schedule's tough. You got to go to Tampa, Seattle. They'll be off their bye when we see them the week after Sunday. Got to go to Green Bay. Got to go to Buffalo. They'll be off their bye when we go there December the 1st. Then you got the Rams at home in Arizona, which may define your year. I think I'm not so much worried about the NFC. Whatever it is, win as many as you can. The key thing really is to win the NFC West. If you do that, you get a home game in the wild card. You're the very worst scenario. You're a 4 seed. Maybe you move up to 3 or 2, or I don't know. You do have Detroit later in the year, but just, try to win as many as you can. So I understand there's a pattern here of them bouncing back, coming out of the bye. But the NFC has changed, and the 49ers schedule is tough this year.
Greg, I'm thinking about, when you get to a bye week, a lot of times we think about McCaffrey coming back and other guys getting healthy. Other times, coaches and the staff, they look at self-scouting, what's been working, what's not been working. Kind of structurally wise, what do you want to see the Niners improve on post-bye here for the back half of the season?
Well, it's obvious. On offense, they're number 2 in the NFL in yards, Jason. They're 4 in rushing. They're 4 in passing. They're perfectly balanced. The problem has been the red zone. They have not been as good, obviously, inside the opponent's 20. They were the best in football last year, and this year they're towards the back third. They have not been as good on third down. They're not awful on third down, but not as good on third down. They've had a hard time, and it's why the red zone and third down have been problem areas. They get in a lot of man coverage based on the Super Bowl and what Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs coordinator, did against them. They've been unable to beat man. So any football player out there that can help you in the red zone and on third down and is a good man beater? That would be the offensive player of the year from last year. So I don't know if he can solve it all, but he'll solve some of it. That guy, he scored 18 touchdowns of his 21 inside the red zone. He just smelled that goal line. He was like a modern day Marcus Allen meets Walter Payton. Whether he's got to jump over you, burrow under you, go around you, do a cartwheel, dive for the pilot, whatever it was. He scored a touchdown in 17 straight games. He tied an NFL record. So he's that guy. And then over on defense, they got to tighten up. They got to be better on third down. They have not been a good third down defense, not just this year, but also last year. And also the red zone numbers defensively have been poor. So I'm driving in the Levi's right now. We're flying after I do the radio show today. And Friday practices in the NFL, and the Niners certainly do it. They are a red zone day. You do a lot of work inside the opponent's 20-yard line on both sides of the ball, defending the red zone and also trying to score in the red zone. So I think that's going to be the interesting thing. Can they get better? We started calling the red zone the dead zone because they would die in there. The field goals aren't bad. But I think the number is they've scored 19 touchdowns this year and kicked 22 field goals. I'm not in the field goal. We're not doing that. We need touchdowns, Kyle. Let's go.
That is the legendary Greg Papa. Such a good pull. Such good pull that Niners are waiting to take off until he's done with his radio show.
Right.
You got to love that.
They're like, Papa, would you wrap it up? But we got to go.
Have a safe trip there and back. Bring back the W, Greg. And as always, we appreciate you.
Whenever I'm getting on a charter and people wish me a safe trip,
I know, right?
I always say, damn, it better be or we're going to lose something.
Okay, I'm throwing salt over my shoulder. Have a wonderful trip.
Break a leg.
Break a leg. No, not you. Don't.
Yeah,
Don't.
Break a leg.
Yeah.
Don't wish that to Mr. McCaffrey. Don't do that.
That's a good
break
one. We'll see you next Friday.
Greg.
Greg. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. The 49ers, incidentally, under Kyle Shanahan, 47-18 combined after their bye weeks. Their record from the bye week to the end of the year, 47-18. I know you thought
that's a lot of seasons.
He's been a coach for 60-plus years. No, their record, if you take their record after the bye week each year, there were a couple like 2-4s in there. 47-18. Okay. We'll take a break. When we come back, just a quick 1-minute break here. We'll pick 6 for the Niners and Buccaneers. We'll wrap that part of the show up. And then we got what to watch, celebrity birthdays, Friday night games, all coming up right after this.